there are companies working on the tone of your voice. You say that, it analyzes your voice, it spits out your baritone. I would rather hear you in Germany, speak German with your voice as opposed to a high-pitched voice. How funny was that when you were kids and you're watching kung fu movies and the lip sync may be there, but the tone of voice was a deep voice, and that person in real life is not talking in that kind of tone. That is the interesting part.
I implore you to reconsider.
We have AI, we have experiences, and we have storms a-brewing in AV. We come to you live from InfoComm 2024. All that and more next on AV Week. This is AV Week, episode 669, recorded Friday, June 14th, 2024. InfoComm 2024, Part 1. This is AV Week, your weekly wrap-up of audio-visual news and information. My name is Tim Albright. I am your host. If you're only listening to this, then my voice sounds a little different because we're at InfoComm 2024, wrapping up the show, wrapping up the day, wrapping up the week, quite frankly. With me to talk about what they've seen, what they've heard, and what they've experienced. First and foremost, Brittany Necessary from Control Concepts. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am well.
Good.
And a very young man who's brand new to the industry. His name is Justin Watts. He's from AMT. And that's an old joke. How are you, dude?
That is an old joke. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Not as old as I am, but that's okay. So here's the thing. June 12th to the 14th, we all hung out in Vegas, went through Central Hall, West Hall, which if you've never been to Vegas, the Central Hall is in the middle of Vegas, and the West Hall is somewhere near Reno, Nevada, really close to the Utah border.
Yes, it is.
Also a joke. It's about a 10 to 15 minute walk, but still.
Not so much a joke.
Definitely got your steps in.
Yeah,
yes.
Definitely got your steps in. But it was a good, overall it's a good event. I'm going to give my 2 cents at the end of each episode. But Brittany, Control Concepts, you guys do control programming, a little bit of control programming, but more focused on the manufacturer programming, creating modules. For you and for Control Concepts, how was the week?
It was excellent. There are a lot of manufacturers who are really ready to start investing and making it easier for programmers in the field.
Okay.
And they definitely see the importance of being able to work across all of the platforms and making sure that they have those tools ready upon product launch, not just as they're being asked for during the sales process. So definitely really good in that front. Definitely a lot of activity and a lot of excitement. It definitely seems like the InfoComms of yore. And even with the walking and the back and forth, it was still great to see everyone. Everyone's been smiling and so happy, and I think that just shows that we're all really excited to be in this industry.
Justin, you work for AMD, so in our industry, you would be referred to as an end user or a technology manager or whatever label you want. You're the one who buys the stuff and supports it. So from your perspective and from that, what kind of week did you have?
I had a great week. Like Brittany said, it really felt like from an energy perspective that this was almost like a pre-COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are lots of people here, lots of excitement. It's great seeing everyone coming together here again. We don't usually wind up in Central Hall all that often because usually this is where NAB lines up for their primary show. So it's kind of neat walking in here and seeing, it's not NAB, it's InfoComm. But again, fantastic week. I've been here since Thursday of last week, so I'm ready to go home.
Oh, wow.
But just for that reason. It's been exciting nonetheless, so really enjoyed it.
All right, I actually do. I know this, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Yeah.
Why have you been here since Thursday?
Well, because my wife works for Avixa.
Okay.
And I'm kind of her +1 for the week. So I'm Stacey Watts' husband this week.
Wow.
As it should be.
As it should be, exactly. So we've been on her timeline. I've kind of helped out where I can, but also I teach sessions over the weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, I taught a course called How to Effectively Manage AV Staff. So much like preparing for control in the environment, preparing your actual staff to do their job is very important. It's one of the things that we really need to beef up in the industry. We do a lot of our stuff by on-the-job training.
Yeah.
We're finding that one technician who knows everything and kind of pairing the new guy up, the new person up, and moving from there. This class actually teaches you how to do things like staff development and conflict management and incident management, which is something we really don't do well in the industry. Mm-hmm. So that was my weekend, and then I've just been enjoying the show ever since.
Good. Brittany, what's a theme or one takeaway you're taking away from Vegas this year?
this is going to be probably a little bit self-serving, but there's been such a rally around healthy AV and treating ourselves kinder, wearing the bracelets, thank you, Tim. But really, not staying out till 4 o'clock in the morning and then trying to rally and be on the floor at 9, but really making healthy choices throughout the week. There's been so much excitement around that. We've had people seeking us out for the bracelets, and so excited that we're doing that. So I've really seen more of a movement away from just totally doing Vegas the traditional Vegas way, and there have been a lot more focuses in on mocktail availability and understanding that we're not going to be out late partying and stuff like that. So it's really been neat to see that people are really here for business, not just to party.
Justin, what's a takeaway or something that you think your theme for this week?
So I could really see that, right? And it kind of caught me by surprise, to be really honest, because I'd been to Vegas before, and it's usually just, again, 4 o'clock in the morning when you stumble in, hope you can find your booth. That's been interesting, is that we're actually having a focus on the business for a change. It's been amazing. I've seen a lot of innovation. You and I talked previously about Project Starline and how just incredible a demo that was for me. But I've seen some innovation on the floor. I definitely would love to have seen more in a lot of cases. But there are definitely some folks who are investing in the industry and trying to push that dime forward. I'm excited. That's my theme for the week was excitement. It was great to see everyone back in one place. It was great to see the same energy we've had in the past. We talked about InfoComm's of yore. It felt like a previous Vegas year, and I fed off that. It was, again, being a part of this has been the best week so far.
Really quickly, remind people, or tell them if they don't know, what is Project Starline?
Yeah, so Project Starline is a partnership between Google and HP. They're developing a new product, and if you get a chance to go check it out, please, I advise you to do so. It is an amazing concept. It takes all kind of the kitschiness and everything around 3D video conferencing and makes it right.
Nice.
Full disclosure, I saw the demo for the first time over in the room, and I was disoriented for the first couple of seconds. My brain could not process the fact that I was looking at what I was looking at.
Wow.
So I won't say any more. I don't want to ruin it for anyone. But it is available here at the show, and I've heard that it'll be a product in the future. But it's a product between HP and Google. So check it out.
One thing to point out about that, though, is there's no glasses, right?
Yes, there's no glasses. It requires no barrier to entry for the 3D experience, and it is truly a collaborative experience. I'm still goosebumps. I mean, it's one of those things. It was amazing, and that's what we come to the show for.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, that's the innovation you're looking
exactly.
for.
And if you can leave with just one of those for the week, it's a win. I mean, there's a lot to take in. You do your regular meetings, you do all the stuff that you usually do at an InfoComm. If you can find one thing that is my AV cup is refilled, my battery's recharged, I'm gonna go do amazing things, then it's a success. I found it, I'm successful, I'm good to go.
All right. Brittany, based on what you've seen and heard and just kind of garnered from the week, what do you think the industry looks like from a business standpoint in the next 6 months?
It's definitely getting busier. I would say it was a slower start to the year. Wasn't really anticipating that from a business standpoint, but there's definitely a lot more activity, a lot more yearning for that innovation, and you're going to see a lot more manufacturers really starting to make those investments in their products and the right tools. So I definitely see a very busy next 6 months.
I agree completely. From my perspective, the ramp up's been kind of getting into that place, but people do truly see the value, at least from my perspective, on what we do now. And that's slowly been building to the point now where, the remote work experience, hybrid experience, trying to bridge all those gaps into one ubiquitous meeting. It's not going to go anywhere. And I really think that, again, places like this foster that drive. I expect the second half of the year to be huge compared to where we are now. And I'm already seeing it. So.
Okay. Well, we're doing this on Friday morning, so I'll let you two go. Brittany, how do people connect with you or Control Concepts?
So you can reach out to controlconcepts.net, and you can reach me on social at Britt Dice.
All right. Mr. Watts?
I work for AMD. There's a website here, I'm sure you can find it.
I'm certain it's AMD.com. That's pretty simple.
Yes, thank you, Tim. That's fantastic. But I'm also at Paladin Machina on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, think MySpace maybe at some point in time.
You still are keeping the MySpace?
It's there somewhere.
I love that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but yeah, I miss Tom. I really do miss Tom.
I miss Tom too.
Thank you guys so much. All right, now joining us is two very favorite people. Bren Walker from Kierkegaard. How are you, ma'am?
I'm great, Tim. Good to see you as always.
See you. Also, she has her Avixa badge. She's on the board of Avixa, so that's kind of cool. Also with us is a dear old ancient friend, Chris Netto from Starin. Who's shrinking away from
who's still younger than you.
Yes, you are younger than me by 6 months.
I know, but I have 6 months to dig that in.
6 months is still 6 months.
Oh, Mr. Netto will turn 50.
What?
In September.
Trying.
Which I guess technically means I just turned 50.
It's October,
which is what
but you could say it's September.
Yeah.
Throw them
October, yes. Okay, all right. Enough of this. We all of us spent the week in Vegas. Bren, what's the theme that you're pulling from this show?
Well, it's AI.
Okay.
Right? I actually taught a course on Tuesday called Fear of a Bot Planet, Competing with the AI Designer.
Okay.
And I thought, maybe I'll get 20 or 30 people who are in the CTSD lane. And I had 60 people.
Oh, man.
And most of them weren't designers at all.
Okay.
They just wanted to hear, they wanted to hear about AI. They were hungry to hear it in any kind of reference. Joe Pham's talk on the keynote, all about it, room packed. And then I did a panel on Thursday morning, and on the AI innovation stage, which was next to the food court, kind of funny, but seats completely full, about 70 people standing.
Wow.
So it's on everyone's mind, and I think that for a lot of people, they just don't know what it means for them, and they're hearing everything about how 50% of jobs are going to be gone in 3 years, and these things you can tell that things are going to happen radically, and there's going to be a tectonic shift. But it's obviously, from my point of view, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
You just have to start figuring out how it works for you, and start making it work for you so it does not eliminate you.
Okay. Chris, same question. What kind of themes are you pulling with this week?
So the obvious is you're going to want me to talk about technology. We're at a technology show, so that could be it. So I'm absolutely not going to go there.
Of course not.
I do not want to go against I'm going to go against the grain. A couple things that popped out this week as far as tones, underlying tones. The industry is going through a very different. It's going through morphosis.
Yeah.
AI is pushing that. I love all the AI marketing, but that is nothing that's being marketed today is what is going to be our problem.
Yep.
I think one of the things that is going to hit us first is our jobs. I'll say it here, and I don't know if I'm 100% accurate in this, and I do not want to offend anybody, but the first group of people that are going to be affected by it are your AI, is going to basically affect the digital content or digital signage creation.
Okay.
Yes.
That is a hard pill to swallow right now, that people that have been designing and creating a simple digital signage may be the first to get hit by this AI wave that's coming. The second thing, in that same aspect, I found it very weird before I even stepped on the show floor that in the last 2 weeks my LinkedIn blew up. Companies are making moves quietly, trying, but LinkedIn tells us a different thing.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing on LinkedIn is everybody's open to network, which means to me, jobs are shifting, companies are cutting, companies are trimming. You'd never see that prior to InfoComm, so that's something to watch. The amount of free agents that are here already with resumes in hand looking for work.
Yeah.
So that to me is scary. It doesn't show up on the work reports, but I'm sorry folks, somebody's got to give you some doom and gloom, right?
I talked to a lot of free agents this week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And,
it's scary.
The T in GPT is for translator.
Yeah.
And some of the first jobs that were eliminated were people who do language translation. Right? Now, if you think about creating the media for digital signage as translating an idea into images and audio, it can do it,
Yeah.
right? So now we start to think, okay, so what differentiates you from the translator? Perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective and subjectivity are the things that differentiate us. And if you've been creating simple content, it is over.
Yeah.
Same for people, background music.
Yeah.
It's done. You know, the human programmer doesn't necessarily have to be there. The human programmer needs to look at all the curation and make sure the curation is right. But the curators themselves,
Yeah.
So let me.
One thing that AI doesn't do very well is replicate humans in pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
They're
It
getting
doesn't.
there.
It's getting
They're
there.
getting
yeah.
So the humans can fix what AI gets wrong on that. But what it's very good at is translation.
Yes.
So that is glaring right now. And some of the things that I've seen when it comes to AI that is super interesting is, I can get a Google Translate and here, tell me how to say I need to go to the cafe in Spanish. And it's Google Voice kind of telling you that in its own way. The level of wildness of it is that now there are companies working on the tone of your voice. You say that, it analyzes your voice, it spits out your baritone. It will have the inflections and how you speak in your, not necessarily a mannerism, but to get your tone of your voice.
Yeah.
How does that come in good? We worry about deep fakes. Deep fakes are scary, and it scares a lot of people. I understand that, but I would rather hear you in Germany, speak German with your voice as opposed to a high-pitched voice. How funny was that when you're kids and you're watching kung fu movies and the lip sync may be there, but the tone of voice was a deep voice, and that person in real life is not talking in that kind of tone. That is the interesting part. But again, going back to the unemployment line and all that sort of stuff, that concerns me because I can't get a read. All the companies that are here showing a lot of new technology, they're investing, they're trying to push forward technology. My fear is, are you watching everything else? Because you're laying off folks and you're adding a button to a panel. Does that justify it?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
No,
There's a side of me that has. I'm human. I'm sad for people when they can't get what they want.
I think though, this is sort of, whenever there's large transformation, you start to see people react because they think they have to react.
Correct.
Right? So there's always an overcorrection.
Yeah.
And then there is, we went too far, so now because so much of this is so new, you're not going to find out until you really start doing it how good your results are, right? And then that's going to, now I need to bring some things back. So we're going to see cycles of this. And I think next year is going to be more extreme than this year.
Okay.
Much more extreme.
Where you're definitely tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
no doubt.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
don't invite me and Brent to your next party. We
I'm
are
100%
party
inviting you to the
poopers.
next party.
But I'm going to turn this around a little bit because I think that if Tim's able to, travel Europe and everywhere he goes, he's speaking in German in Tim's tone, speaking in French in his tone. All of a sudden, he's multilingual where he was not multilingual
I am not
before.
multilingual, just for the record, not at all.
Right. So, and my approach to, what I'm doing in terms of building agents is there to assist my designers.
Yeah.
So my designers can stop spending time in Revit and start spending more time with the users. Because our systems keep getting more and more complicated.
Correct.
And our users actually, we don't walk away from the project anymore. Like, it's done, commissioned, great, see you later. Those days are over. We have to be with them for year 1, year 3. Some of my clients, year 5 is what we're talking about. Because they're going to need that help, because the same way that we can't keep up, they surely cannot keep up.
Correct. It is definitely a key to unlocking creativity. You hire somebody for their creativity, but you're going to saddle them with Excel spreadsheets? Come on now. That's not what you got them for.
Yeah.
Let them go. And I think that in that sense, those menial tasks can get taken care of. Microsoft's doing that with Copilot. I love sitting and talking to Jimmy Vaughn. Jimmy Vaughn's a great guy. Next week, I will be at the Hive to talk and pick their brains. I'm truly excited about going over to Redmond, though I'm not excited about going on lack of sleep from here to there, but
It's the same time
it's going to be
you'll
awesome.
fine.
But it goes beyond tasks, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the sort of first place. is the take my meeting notes, review these notes, giving me the highlights, right?
Do my expenses.
That crosses everything.
Yep.
But what I'm looking at is how do I use it to iterate, right? So how do I use it to produce the drawing set so that we're not spending that time and instead we're spending our time on the things where our humanity matter, being empathetic towards users, being able to help people mediate situations where there's conflict. Those are the things that we're going to be doing. We're going to be mediators more than anything else. And I'm looking forward to it, but it's because I understand what my strategy is. Everyone out there, you got to develop your strategy if you don't want to be eliminated.
I think that's a key point here is develop your strategy, because AI is not going anywhere. We need to learn how to use it.
Correct.
And incorporate it into our daily lives.
And we should recognize that Apple's announcement on Monday about Apple Intelligence. Okay, so now the leader's been defined. It's OpenAI, right? Between Apple and Microsoft. And Apple is focusing on consumers and not focusing on business. So it's not about an API for them. It's about the 1 billion customers.
They always have, but then it always changes.
Right. Well,
that's where they start. It makes sense.
Yeah. So what that means, though, is those 1 billion customers, those are not people who are going to be writing prompts or training data.
No.
Apple's going to have the interface for them that eliminates the need to do that. And eventually, that's going to be the case for all of us.
Yep.
You know, my prompt writing now, it's like, it can write my prompts better than I can. It's like, improve the prompt. I didn't get what I wanted. Okay, here's what I needed to be different. Can you rewrite the prompt so that I get a better result? Right? So the whole notion of what it is today and how we use it a year from now, going to look different, and more people will be able to use it because it'll be simpler interfaces.
All right. As we wrap up here, Chris, based on what you've seen, heard, interacted this week, what does the industry look like? What's headed for us in the next 6 months? What does it look like in 6 months?
You ever stand on a cliff and see a storm cloud coming?
Yes.
That's what we got. It's coming. It's there, and it's not necessarily a bad thing because you need those winds to push the sails, right? So standing on that beach, looking out and seeing it, you can take it one of two ways. It's going to be tumultuous, or it's going to do good. The good is I think we need a shakeup. I'm bored of Me Too products. I'm bored of that. Dude, our world depends on the quickness of a chip, how fast it can be, and its availability, as we've learned over the last 3 years. And not just bring it to the table and have it readily accessible. We're very reliant on that. And I don't necessarily want the same stuff. I'm going to bring an outside thing into the conversation. I went to the Sphere. And I said to Sarah Joyce, I said, look at the Sphere and what is being done. That is the peak of audiovisual nerdery in my book. To me, it doesn't talk IT, it doesn't speak to AI, it talks none of the trends. It is what we're not born, we're assembled as AV people. It talks about audio, it speaks to video. The quality of that is important. Impact of the images, the size, the perspectives, everything that the Sphere does in that Darren Aronofsky film is a microcosm of AV. So I said to her, when that movie ends, in the hallways should be employers, that should be filled with high school students, it should be filled with college students. There is no better example. The way I left there's no better example to sign people up for what we do and express what we do as an industry. That is the positive of the storm, is that we've always had a tough time explaining what we do, and all this change that's coming to our industry with the AI, if we can blend what the old school AV was, proper lighting, proper sound, amazing images, I think we have a lot of good perspective. We just got to get past the let's talk about AV over IT one more time, or is IT? Let's get that out of the way. Like, let's talk about locking connectors. Come on, guys. Like, there is such promise that if you can walk into the Sphere and see the promise that AV has, and that's today, because you know very well that anything that was put in there is already last year.
Oh yeah.
And we're looking at that. Every nerd that was sitting there for that event was looking for a blip on a screen that was a chip or something, a diode that was out. And we were wondering where the sound was coming from. And my God, Holoplot, give them the money.
Sure.
Whatever they do, make that happen, because they truly took sound, amplified it with the 4D. Like, I didn't expect the ride, right? It gave me an experience.
Yeah,
absolutely.
the haptic feedback.
Yeah, amazing. And I was sitting in a folding chair. I was not in a.
Oh, you weren't in one of the seats.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I want this in front of me, because if I have motion sickness, I'll hold. But
right.
So that storm, I see positive in it. I think that we're about to change. I think we're going to get past the boring conversation, because we don't have time for it anymore. And now we're going to take what we're good at. There's going to be two splits in AV. There's going to be the ones that are going to be working with the IT, and there's going to be the ones that does the wow, right? And the wow is going to be focused on making us the glass better on our lenses. I don't care about what you're doing with the camera, that it's purple. Give me good glass on a camera, and we're finally getting to the nitty gritty, right? I don't know. I'm hopeful that what I'm looking at is good. The bad side is that before we get there, we're going to take a couple hits. There's going to be more M&As. There's going to be more, companies that are be like, you know what? We don't do this. This is not what we set out to do. This is not the business we've been. And you're going to see new style companies come out. As a distributor, new distribution ways are going to happen. Supply shortage made us have to rethink how we do business. You as an integrator, how you take product. Are we going to go back to the way old school where you actually take stock? And of products, I think a lot of different things are changing. I think rep firms are changing. I see that directly, obviously, as a distributor, watching rep firms and how they're moving and maneuvering right now. There's a lot of different things going on. And again, it's the storm. But you got to go through it to get, after every storm, isn't there usually a nice rainbow or sun after that? So I've been through enough hurricanes in Jersey, man, I know.
Right.
So there is AI in this sphere.
Yeah. It's the images.
It's the film. Right. There's embedded. There's no way that film was not done without some, it's in there. I think of the sphere to me. I was in Le Mans for a conference earlier this year, and they, in their little square, erected a dome, right? And had an immersive experience, and it was awesome. It was actually, for me, better than that.
Really?
Because the people were more engrossed with it as opposed to
intimate.
Being flooded with it.
Well,
right?
I like the wave washing over you effect.
Yeah, sure.
You see it coming. If it was behind me, then I'd have a problem. Now I wouldn't know where to go. I'm sorry.
But I think that the idea of the storm coming, to me, it's more like the Midwest thunderstorms. You know how they come in, they blow out real quick.
Oh, I do.
And then it's like, it's a beautiful afternoon. And then the next day it might be, you wake up, it blows in real quick. It's going to be unpredictable. It's not going to be a huge front. It's going to be in little tiny waves. And in between those waves, it's going to be a lot of sunshine. So make hay while the sun is shining. And there, the one thing that I think people here are going to learn very quickly next year is that if you are banking on having some sort of license around software in your associated with your hardware, get ready, because there will be people generating code and putting it out there for free that does what your thing does. So the idea of software as a service as a part of how you're going to make up for
that's
revenue.
A dirty word. That's a dirty word.
Well, but a lot of people are counting on it, though,
I know.
For their bottom line, and there's a lot of fatigue with that. And I don't want to sign up for yet another thing that we've got to pay for. And so what's going to happen, I think, with this releasing of how you can write code and how non-coders will be able to code is that there's going to be a race to the bottom on that, the same way there's a race to the bottom on certain things in our field. So I'm real bullish. You get a little wet. It's just water.
Just water.
It's just water. You'll dry off. It'll be fine.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Netto, how do people connect with you or Starren?
Wait. Before we do that, there hasn't been a John Green mentioned, so I just want to put that out there. You can find me on Twitter, Chris_Netto, LinkedIn, Christopher Netto CTS. I am proud of the last 3 letters, and that makes me unique. the shout out too. That makes sense.
Right.
Bren@Kierkegaard.com, on LinkedIn, Brenda J. Walker, and I just need to do a little shout out to Alex, Tom, and Veronica at CGI, a big IT consulting firm out of Canada, where they're going to be watching AV Week for the first time, but they're trying to understand what's going on in our world. So, hey y'all, what's up?
Hey y'all. For me, Tim Albright, don't follow me anywhere because I'm not very exciting, but go by the website, AVNation.tv. It's AVNation.tv. You will find this and a host of other programs and all of our videos from InfoComm 2024. All that and more at AVNation.tv. It's AVNation.tv. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. That's all the time we have for AV Week.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
This is AV.
This
This
is AV Nation.
This is AV Nation.